Good afternoon. My name is Dan Ryan. I'm here with the Human Capital Connection on the Social Media Connection Broadcast Network. It's a pleasure to have you with us here today. Pleased to have as my guest Tom Truitt from Music Row Search. Tom, it's good to have you again.
Thanks, Dan. Great to be back.
Tom, you've worked in the search world for a number of years, and obviously you've seen a lot of changes take place that make the work that we do in executive search different. Tell me from your perspective what you see changing, and tell me how you see that affecting the world of executive search.
Great question. I have been in the business an awfully long time, 16 years to be exact. So I've seen 2 or 3 full market cycles. And one of the things that's obviously going on is technology and the various technological tools that are available to both decision makers in the hiring process as well as candidates.
Right.
My advice to candidates is to leverage all the tools they possibly can, such as the social networking platforms of Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. And the reason they need to do that is to increase their visibility and awareness in the eyes of decision makers and hiring authorities.
So you mentioned Twitter, you mentioned Facebook, you mentioned LinkedIn. If you were a job seeker and someone were giving you advice, what advice do you think would be the best? Do they need to start with Twitter, start with Facebook, start with LinkedIn? And then after you know where to start, what do you do?
The first advice I would give is LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is really all about who I am professionally. Facebook still has a lot more social connotations, my favorite books, my favorite music.
True.
But LinkedIn is who I am professionally, and that's the preferred social network of hiring authorities as well. Headhunters and human resource professionals use LinkedIn as much as job seekers do. It's a great meeting spot for both.
You'd mentioned that human resource professionals and organizations use LinkedIn. In some of the work that we've done at the Human Capital Group, we've had conversations with the people at LinkedIn, and it's very interesting. In the world of LinkedIn, they could have chosen to either side with third-party search firms or with organizations. And the message I'm getting from LinkedIn is that they have really kind of cast their lot with the organization, and the packages they offer, the large-scale packages, are much more on the organizational side and not on the search firm side. Any comment on that?
That's not really, I've not bumped into that one really.
Okay.
I use it from a headhunter's point of view to gather candidates together.
All right.
Most of my business is in the entertainment space, and digital marketing and everything digital is what my clients are about. So all day long I am doing my best to gather digital executives together, and LinkedIn has an awful lot of those.
We had talked a couple of weeks ago, and you were talking about a search you had worked on, and it was outside the country, and you gave me some perspective on that. If you could kind of share that story to give people an idea of the scale and difference that technology has provided in the search world.
Yeah, this was an Italian-based mobile telecommunications company looking for a London-based head of global music licensing, and I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. So how in the world can I fill a search like that? Well, using technology such as LinkedIn and Skype, I was able to quickly identify a slate of candidates and interview those candidates on the cheap using Skype and present that slate, get interviews started, conducted, and search completed, all from Nashville, Tennessee. And pre-1995, a search like that would have taken 6 months, maybe 12 months to effect, with no less than $50,000 in long-distance fees attached, long-distance telephone charges. I was able to do the whole search, very low cost, 45 days start to finish.
That's amazing. So you're using Skype video for interviewing then on a regular basis?
Sure. Yeah, Skype video for interviewing and Skype for overseas telephone calls for free.
I had not used the video part of Skype. I did some work in the Middle East in 06 and 07, and calling back from the Middle East using Skype phone. Skype is a fantastic technology. I'm not here to do a commercial for Skype, but if I'm going to call from outside the U.S., Skype is probably the vehicle I'm going to use.
Absolutely, as well as calling from the U.S. to Europe or Asia or wherever you happen to have to dial.
So we've mentioned LinkedIn, we've talked about Skype. If you were going to mention, maybe put in front of people, one other social networking technology, another disruptive technology that people should know of in the recruiting world, what would that be?
Well, it's one that I've been working on for a number of months, and it's called YourElevatorPitch.net. And what YourElevatorPitch.net is, very simply, is scripting and filming a high-definition 60-second video of a job seeker and giving him the technological tools to deploy that video next to his resume to targeted decision makers. And what that does is it gives the power, it puts the control in the hands of the job seeker as opposed to always being in the control of the hiring authority.
So what you've done is, in fact, taken almost the introductory interview, the elevator pitch, per se, packaged it with the resume. Then how does that package actually get to a hiring manager?
They use our customers use our platform. They can embed their video into a templated email, and then they can send that to their targeted decision makers, which we also provide the specific contact information for. Once they've sent it, let's say they send it to 20 companies, they can track the results of that email. So they know who got the email, did they watch the video, did they forward the email, who did they forward it to. So if a candidate sends out 20 and they know that 5 of those companies watched their video, that gives them 5 hot leads they need to follow up on. Hey, you watched my video, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about me. Let's talk.
It sounds like a great opportunity. If someone wants to learn more about your elevator pitch, where do they go to learn more information about that opportunity?
Our website has just gone live. It's www.yourelevatorpitch.net. And Dan, one last thing I'd like to add, at the bottom line of what we're doing with yourelevatorpitch.net is we're putting the human connection back into recruiting. We live in this techno world where applicant tracking systems that are used by companies are put in place to filter out candidates and prevent candidates from speaking to decision makers inside of companies. What we want to do with yourelevatorpitch.net is to get the human connection going again and get the conversation going between candidate and decision maker.
It's interesting you had mentioned that. We've been talking earlier, in this world of technology, many times our resume, or each of us as candidates, we end up being boiled down to a search of just a number of keywords or items that just people use to describe. I mean, it's not like who I am. It's not my personality. I am a problem solver, a decision maker. You're laughing, but it's the truth.
Yeah, and it is the sad truth. And there's so much more that a candidate can provide to a company than just being a few keywords. And the dangerous thing is, how do you differentiate between this resume with these keywords and this resume with the same keywords? Big difference.
I can see it now. My problem solver is better than your problem solver, but your elevator pitch would certainly be a way to differentiate between what could be, on paper, 2 equivalent candidates.
That's exactly right, because paper will not convey enthusiasm, confidence, communication skills, communication style. That can only be brought forth with video.
Fascinating. It's been a pleasure to have you with us here on the Human Capital Connection today on the Social Media Connection Broadcast Network. Tune in again soon. We'll have other interesting, envelope-breaking, and just cutting-edge discussions about recruiting, human capital, and how technology is affecting the world around us. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.